But as you said, we started our discussion about the most recent heinous terrorist attack yesterday in Jaffa in Jerusalem, and Patika Tikva. My wife and my two grandchildren and granddaughter were having dinner on the beach, not very far from where that happened. I don't know exactly whether it was 100 meters or 1,000 meters, but and it just it brings home that it can happen. It can happen anywhere at any time. And what Bibi and I talked about was not just the death of Taylor Force, who was served 2 tours, one in Afghanistan, one in Iraq, West Point graduate, a brilliant future. But we talked about the other wounded and the students he was with, and our instinct was the same. We both said, let's go to the hospital now. Let's go see them. Let's go see the families and meet with them. And it turns out, the good staff work by the president's staff, they are all now either departed or departing. But it is a little bit, the reason I cite that, and that's a personal note, is the instinct is the same. Let's go see. Let's go touch. Let's go let those families know how much we care about them. Let them know that that expression, if you don't go get the terrorists, they'll come to you. And we're dealing with it all over the world. So my condolences to Taylor's family and to all those who are victims of attacks yesterday and every day. Let me say in no uncertain terms, the United States of America condemns these acts and condemns the failure to condemn these acts. This cannot become an accepted modus operandi. This cannot be viewed by civilized leaders as an appropriate way in which to behave, even if it appears to inure to the benefit of one side or the other. It's just not tolerable in the 21st century. They're targeting innocent civilians, mothers, pregnant women, teenagers, grandfathers, American citizens. There can be no justification for this hateful violence, and the United States stands firmly behind Israel's right to defend itself, as we are defending ourselves at this moment as well. That's why we've done more to help bolster Israel's security than any other administration in history. Across the board, we've raised our security cooperation in military and intelligence fields to unprecedented levels. And we've provided a historical amount of security assistance. We've ensured Israel has the most advanced weapons, including one of the most effective missile defense systems in the world. At the same time, we are struggling to increase our missile defense capability because of the threat from North Korea. It doesn't mean we don't disagree, but you never need to doubt that the United States of America has Israel's back. And we know Israel has our back as well, I might add. It's not a one-way street. We're committed to making sure that Israel can defend itself against all serious threats, maintain its qualitative edge with a quantity sufficient to maintain that. And it's critical because Israel lives in, as Bibi knows better than anyone, lives in a very, very tough neighborhood, a tough and changing neighborhood, living some little sense of hope, but an awful lot of consternation. Bibi used to always kid me because I'm always quoting Irish poets to him. I quote them not because I'm Irish, because they're the best poets. And I quoted yesterday a line from one of Yeats's poems, The First Rising in Ireland in Easter Sunday, 1916. There's a line in that poem that better describes this area today than it did Yeats's Ireland in 1916. He said, all's changed utterly. A terrible beauty has been born. A terrible beauty has been born. All has changed since I started coming here when I first met with Golda Meir and her assistant, a fellow named Rabin. I sat across the desk for an hour as she flipped those maps up and down, chain smoking, telling me about the Six-Day War. And I had just come from Egypt. I was one of the few people allowed to go to the go to the Suez Canal. I'm still not sure why. And all this activity was occurring in the desert. They kept telling me it was sandstorms. And I came back and I said to the Prime Minister, I think there's going to be another war. I think they're getting ready to go to war again. Well, several months later, the Yom Kippur War occurred. I was just a rookie. I had no idea what it was. But I'll never forget, from that moment on, the intensity of the relationship has grown, but the face of the enemy has changed. The face of the enemy has changed and morphed in many ways. But it also presents some small opportunity. And that's why we're united in the belief that a nuclear-armed Iran is absolutely unacceptable threat to Israel, to the region, of the United States. And I want to reiterate, which I know people